Right, so if everything else I say today you totally forget, you will remember that, won't you? You'll remember there are 30 squares there, you can work it out for yourself afterwards. Anyone who's not sure, talk to me later. Right, can I ask a question first, and I want a bit of feedback on this. What is the most important asset in your company?
Yourself.
Yourself?
People.
People?
Information.
Information?
Equipment.
Equipment? There's lots of different answers. And if you go on the internet and Google it, you will again get lots of different answers. And the reason is because there are different people trying to sell you things to solve the most important asset in your business problem. So, in a recent US survey, 81% of companies said the most important thing in their business with their data. I don't necessarily go along with that. I'm in a people business and I think our staff are probably more important than our data. But when I think about it, I think if I lose half my data, is it going to have more of an impact than losing half my staff? I don't know. It's a very difficult question. This one, maybe you've got to answer that for yourselves. But that is the situation. Coming nearer home, the FSB, Federation of Small Businesses, did a survey earlier this year. One of the conclusions was that cybercrime costs 27 billion. Well, that's just, we don't touch that. But closer to home, their typical member is people like us. Now, 41% of their members have been a victim of some form of cybercrime during the last 12 months. And I'll come across some cybercrime later. And the average cost to each business is about £4,000. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now, come on then. Computers, we love them or hate them. Answer who loves them. Answer who hates them. Well, that's not far off 50-50 actually. What can go wrong? Right, we start off. Now, you can split things into two areas: first-party risks and third-party risks. You've probably heard of third-party because you've probably all got motor insurance. Can anyone tell me what third-party means? It's an expression we use all the time. It's like saying a third world country. We never talk about the first world and the second world. We always talk about the third world. And in this, we very rarely talk about the first party and the second party. We talk about the third party.
Other people.
Yeah. The first party is yourself, the policy holder. The second party is the insurance company. And the third party is the person who could be claiming on your insurance policy. So that's to go back really to what Nigel was saying earlier about injuring people, causing damage, this, that. So those are the two types, and keep that in mind as we go through. They're the two types of risks. Right, what could go wrong with your computer? What could go wrong with the hardware? Tell me. Breakdown, yeah. Corrupted, yeah.
Physical damage.
Yeah, physical damage. Yeah. Anything else? Yeah. Main things, damage, we touched upon. So that could be actual physical damage, just accidental damage to it. Theft. You could have your laptop stolen. Or breakdown. They're the main three that actually comes to hardware. And they're covered by what are normally traditional insurance products. So if you've got an office insurance policy, well, you will certainly find that the first two covered. Sometimes you might get the third of those covered in there. Next is software. What can go wrong with the software? Where's that? So it'll tell you everything that can go wrong with the software. Go on. What can go wrong with the software?
Software collapse corruptly.
Yeah, corrupted. Theft again, yeah. Virus, yeah. Loss of data. You could just actually lose the data. How many have had a situation where you're an employee or someone, or even yourself at home, just happened to just lost it? It's just gone. What's happened to that? Theft of data. That was touched on earlier as well by Az in his initial comments. That can happen lots of different ways. It can happen. The disgruntled employee, you've decided to sack him, stick something in the USB port, downloads all your data, goes off to your favourite competitor with all your information. Misuse of data, similar sort of thing. Computer policies can cover all that sort of, all those software items. We need a specialist computer policy. But what a specialist computer policy doesn't cover is some of the consequences. It doesn't cover the misuse of data. I want you to read that. I trawled the internet to find a definition of cyber risk management. I'll read it out to you because it sums it up, doesn't it, really? It includes the utilisation of organisational strategies to preserve the integrity of information and corporate and tangible assets. It sounds very American, doesn't it? This is my definition. Recognise the risks, similar to yours is. Mitigate the risks. So, most of us, if we know as, will have installed a firewall, will have put virus protection in. But how far else have we done that? We've got a policy on how the staff use the computer. So mitigate the risks, and finally, transfer the risks. So if there's anything in there that you don't like, think, well, I don't like that risk, I've done all I can, but I still don't want to carry that risk. Transfer it. And who would you transfer it to? An insurance company. Anyone naming net security risks? Are there any security?
Hacking.
Yeah. You asked before. Oh no! What's happened? What's happened? Brian? I didn't know Brian was coming here. And you saw him just walking in the middle of the last presentation. Brian is actually one of the underwriters for a computer insurance policy. And that idea for him actually to put a virus in the middle of the presentation. Right. They're the sort of things that can happen. Viruses we talked about, malware. You all appreciate what malware is. Sometimes it can come in on very innocent emails. You open it up and all of a sudden things have been dumped onto your system. Theft of data, system shutdown. There's ways in which companies can manipulate, they can hack in and cause your system to shut down. DOS attack, that's denial of service. And what's happening more at the top end is extortion. People know some of your data and start extorting money out of you to not use it. Going back to third-party risks now on the cyber liability side. Some of the things that can happen through either misuse of data or anything where you're not a little bit careful on things. Liable. Same laws apply in cyber liability as in ordinary liability. You can't go slagging people off and you've got to be careful. So if you've got host any forums, if you allow your staff to post things on the internet, either Twitter or anything like that, be careful. Copyright. Again, don't pinch in other people's ideas and using them on your website. That's certainly a spot. Loss of records. You could send something to a third party which causes them to lose some of their records. You could transmit a virus without actually knowing it sometimes. It can go through your email system, out the other side, and cause them problems. Invasion of privacy, another lovely one for the lawyers to get involved in. Again, denial of access. That's a game where you basically screw up one of your competitors. Touched on those. Staff misuse of company email. It's an area really we want to talk to us about. It is a problem. Right, potential costs. We go through these bit by bit. Business disruption. It is practically impossible to say how much your business is going to be disrupted if you have a problem. What you're going to have to do, first of all, find out what the problem is, where have you lost your data, what's happened, sort it out. That can take a while. During which time you won't be able to trade, you'll lose turnover, and you will lose profit. Notification costs is an interesting one. In the United States, that is compulsory. If you hold customer data and there's been a breach of that data, you have by law to tell all your customers that there has been a breach. There is talk that that will come into force in Europe, possibly next year. Do you know, Brian? No, it's a possibility. Also, if you have any details of customers on your system that are based in the United States, you have to tell them. Now, can you imagine what harm that will do to your business once it's out there? That you've lost customer details, you've lost customers' bank account details. Frightening. Oops, sorry. Fines. There are lots of regulatory bodies who will fine you for losing any details. Loss of intellectual property. Again, you could cause somebody to... Intellectual property is things like patents, copyrights, and again, damage to reputation, which is so. More costs there. These are some things that we'll talk about this a bit more later. Really. But crisis management, anything that happens. And can I ask first of all, has anyone suffered a major loss of data or virus or corruption or anything like that? No?
No, everybody in this room has had viruses.
Yeah. It is a bit of a pain though, isn't it, when it does happen?
One of my clients did actually stroke an employee who left. She didn't do anything, and literally knowledge her husband decided to basically around it, go into their system, hacked it, e-commerce site, put them off for over a week. And of course they had all their tracking and stock management, everything through it. And it took them the best part of a month to put that right. And so the consequences can be horrendous.
Anyone else got any examples of anyone they know suffering like this?
I do. One of our clients actually had a virus that started on a desktop computer, got transmitted through an email, and they ended up going from the desktop computer onto their server, destroyed 15 computers, a server full of data, and wiped all their data. So they had a lot of forensic recovery fees, everything to put it back together. It's just one of those things that it'll never happen to me.
I used to do many years ago with an accountant whose offices were not too far from here, they're not anymore. And they used to back up the data religiously every night, but they never used to reread it. And then one time they had a little look at it and they found that it actually wasn't backing up properly. So they called in the IT support people and they said, oh yeah, it's not backing up, I know how to fix this. Started running it through, and then they started hearing this horrible noise. And then after a while they realised we're wiping the hard drive, just wiping the hard drive completely. So they stopped it. They've got no backups, don't forget. They've now lost a load of their data, and they had to put everybody on overtime for about 2 months, recreating all the paper files they had because they'd lost tax revenue, they lost the tax details of about 20% of their clients. Major problems. Luckily I had a policy in place for them, and we paid £25,000 to them for this additional work.
When I was actually with a doctor's practice in Cardiff, and they had their service stolen, and they did a lot of private work where they got paid by the NHS for treatments and so on. And they ended up getting fined about £12,000 for reconstitution of the data, because they could go back and do it all again.
Business interruption, again, there's obviously, if your business is interrupted and you're losing money, then it's going to be a cost. These other things, I think we've touched on most of those. The dishonesty of employees is quite an interesting one. And there are examples of employees who are actually selling your data to your competitors. Right. Policies that are available in the market, just bear in mind what I said about first-party risks.
Sorry, Dave, carry on.
Right. First-party risks are the damage that you would suffer yourself. Accidental damage, loss or theft and breakdown, we touched on. Virus, if you've got a virus, a policy that will pay to seek and destroy that. Hacking, policies that will pay to cover any losses you had from hacking. Okay, reinstatement of data, what I've talked about already, about putting the data back on. Denial of service, especially if you're an internet sales organisation, you're reliant totally on sales through the internet. If you're out of action, then your income stops from day one. On the business interruption side. I'll just read a few claims examples here. There was an office risk. Said a seemingly throwaway comment within an internal email eventually formed part of a longer email thread that was distributed widely outside the business. It was eventually seen by a competitor who considered it to be disparaging, potentially damaging to its interests, and therefore legal proceedings were instigated. This resulted in an award of £450,000. Another similar one is a charity which relied heavily on donations made via this website. The level of donations fluctuating according to the season. The website failure coincided with one of the heavy sponsored event advertising campaigns, severely compromising fundraising activity, thus hindering its viability in terms of fulfilling its charitable aspirations and responsibility. So there was an inability to accept online donations, and the policy covered forensic investigation work into the cause and met restoration costs. There was another charity one, which I read about, where somebody hacked into the charity database, which was quite clever this way, really. Pinched the list of all the people that had donated to the charity, and sent out emails to them saying, we've now got another thing that you might be interested in. And of course, started getting donations to a different bank account. People were thinking they were going to the original charity. So I think that was quite cute in a way. But once it was found out, that charity may as well not have been in existence anymore, because nobody wanted to give any more money to it. Defamation and libel we've touched on a little bit. Same rules apply as to all sorts of breach of confidentiality. There was a case where somebody was looking at prices. They put something out to tender, and they got a price list from one of the customers, from suppliers. another of the suppliers' competitors. So it just gave him a complete price list. That was deemed to be a little bit naughty, and so was the suit. Transmission of files we've touched on. Breach of the Data Protection Act again. You're keeping information you won't say. Right. Typical third-party cover one only has a limit of £5,000, and they can start from about £250 those policies. Top cover one, which includes things like reputation damage. Now they have a full PR team who will come in and they'll maybe keep it up in papers, they'll do all sorts of things, they'll put a positive spin on everything. They've even got ransom payments. Actually, everything that you can think of that can go wrong. A limit of £8 million is one of these policies. The downside is that they start at £10,000. Who should buy the insurance? Anyone who owns data electronically. And we all hold it in some form or other. Probably all got one of these smartphone things. How many people let their employees put their smartphone into their PCs? I'm lucky because I'm one of the older generation and I don't have that much information on here. But I know lots of people where this is their office. They lose this. So, about it. There we are. So, right, that's it.
Thank you very much, Dave.
See me later.
Cool. Right, the next people up